The curse revealed. Tutankhamun's curse. Spooky stories of mummy's revenge, right? When his tomb was cracked open in 1922, people whispered that supernatural forces killed explorers like Lord Carnarvon. But here's the real shocker. The true curse wasn't magic. It was written in King Tut's DNA. Sculla's royal family tree was so tangled from generations of marrying cousins, it poisoned the bloodline. The result? A sickly teenage pharaoh, and a dynasty doomed to collapse. Think about it. Even the mightiest kingdoms can fall from within. Fun Islamic link. Centuries later, Muslim scholars like Ibn Washia actually decoded some ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. They studied pharaohs not as cursed, but as warnings from history about power and pride. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe it. The Curse Legacy. Meet Tutankhamun. The pharaoh cursed not by angry gods, but by his own pure royal blood. Drop of blood born into Egypt's glittering 18th dynasty, around 1341 BC. This was peak ancient Egypt. Golden palaces, armies stretching to the horizon. Pharaohs worshipped as living gods. Their bloodline? Seen as sacred, untouchable. But their obsession with divine purity became their doom. Generations of marrying cousins, sisters, even parents and children, trying to copy myths like Osiris and Isis. Why? It was power lockdown. Lock keep the throne in the family. And outsiders out. But this wasn't just tradition. It was a slow-burning genetic time bomb. High-voltage reality check. While pharaohs played divine family, Muslim scholars like al-Biruni 1,000 years later were writing groundbreaking books analyzing why ancient empires rose and fell, studying everything from geography to, wait for it, family dynamics. Books they saw history as lessons, not magic. And Tut's curse? The ultimate lesson. Too much power in too few hands? That never ends well. Crown Raitero collision. The genetic labyrinth. That divine blood. Total trap. DNA, imagine a family tree folding on itself like a collapsing pyramid. Tut's parents? Pharaoh Akhenaten, who tried replacing all Egypt's gods with one sun god, Aten, and his full sister. Flush-faced DNA tests screamed the truth. Tut's genes were a disaster zone. His 2025 bone scans? Chart decreasing club foot, malaria, broken femur, a teenager falling apart. Why? Generations of royal family, recycling the same DNA, amplifying every hidden flaw. Lord Carnarvon's death? A mosquito bite plus bad timing, not a curse. The real horror was inside Tut's cells. Sculla's birth wasn't just royal. It was a genetic extinction event waiting to happen. While pharaohs trapped themselves in genetic dead ends, Muslim scientists like Ibn Sina Avicenna wrote entire books on heredity 1,400 years later. He taught that diverse lineages create stronger offspring, centuries before modern genetics. Allah's wisdom in creation beats royal blood any day. The poison bloodline. Royal blood. Sounds powerful, right? Wrong. Crown, it was a poison chalice. For 200 years, Egypt's 18th dynasty kept marrying cousins, sisters, aunts trying to keep the throne pure. Big mistake. Prohibited, it was like drinking from the same polluted well for generations. The result? A dynasty rotting from the inside while glittering on the outside. Tut's family was the ultimate cautionary tale. Too much power plus too little new blood equals collapse. Collision, their obsession with purity, doomed them faster than any invasion. Open book Allah warns us in Quran. O mankind, we created you from male and female and made you into nations and tribes so you may know one another. 49:13. Diversity isn't weakness. It's Allah's design for strength. The pharaohs? They forgot that. Their loss. Person shrugging male sign. Egypt's golden zenith. The 18th dynasty? Ancient Egypt's ultimate flex. Flexed biceps for 260 years, 1550 to 1292 BCE. Pharaohs like Amenhotep III, Tut's grandpa, ruled an empire stretching from Sudan to Syria. Gold-covered temples pierce the sky. Thebes buzz like a TikTok trend. Markets packed. Priests chanting in Karnak shadowy halls. Sparkles, but beneath the bling, a ticking time bomb in their DNA. That sacred royal blood, it hid a venomous secret. While pharaohs built monuments to themselves, Muslim travelers like Ibn Jubair, 12th century CE, wrote awestruck diaries about Egypt's ruins, seeing them as lessons in how Allah's laws govern civilizations. Pride before fall, right? Palms up together. Divine unions, mortal consequences. Pharaohs thought marrying sisters/cousins kept their god blood pure. They pointed to myths like Osiris and Isis. Big mistake. Amenhotep II married his daughter Cinnamon. Heretic Akhenaten, Tut's dad, married his full sister. Even Queen Nefertiti, likely his half-sister/cousin. Flush face. This wasn't love, it was throne security. Lock power within the family. But with every generation, their genes got more tangled than headphone wires. DNA scissors, what they called purity, was actually genetic poison. Critical Islamic contrast. Allah warns in the Quran, do not marry those forbidden to you, for 23, listing close relatives. Why? Because Islam values healthy families and strong societies, not power hoarding. Meanwhile, 700 years later in Baghdad, geniuses like Al-Kindi were revolutionizing medicine, while Pharaoh's divine unions crippled their own dynasty. Lightbulb Allah's wisdom, Pharaoh's pride. The genetic truth uncovered. While priests chanted hymns, science was screaming warnings. Microscope modern DNA tests, 2010 and 2025, proved Tut's parents were full siblings, giving him worse genetics than modern brothers/sisters. His body? A battleground. Club foot from great-grandpa. Weak immunity from generations of recycled DNA. Skull malaria that killed him at 19. Allah's design doesn't work like Pharaohs thought. Harmful traits hide in diverse families. But when royals kept marrying cousins, those hidden flaws became Tut's deadly reality. Mind-blowing fact. 800 years before these DNA tests, Muslim scholar Al-Jaiz wrote Kitab al-Haywan, Book of Animals, the first text ever describing how traits pass through families. Islam values knowledge that protects life, not pure blood myths. The Amarna collapse. Enter Amarna period, 1353 to 1336 BCE. Egypt's ultimate self-destruct era. Akhenaten triggered religious chaos by banning all gods except Aten. Meanwhile, his family tree was imploding. Grandparents equals cousins, parents equal siblings. Result? Babies dying young. Kings too frail to rule, a capital city collapsing. Those creepy Amarna statues with long faces? Not artistic style. They're medical records. Performing arts proof of genetic disorders pharaohs tried to hide. Their divine blood was a death sentence. Allah warns in the Quran. Corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea by what the hands of people have earned. 30:41. Pharaoh's arrogance plus genetic corruption equals empire destroyed. Islam teaches balance. Don't break Allah's natural laws. Globe showing Europe-Africa. A dynasty in denial. The royal court ignored every warning sign. Triangular flag Tut's birth was celebrated as a miracle heir, but science screams otherwise. His family tree had become a twisted knot yarn. No new branches for centuries. They were drowning in their own pure bloodline. Skull and crossbones, while baby Tut was wrapped in linen. The dynasty was already unraveling. Their obsession with blood purity blinded them to a simple truth. Allah designed diversity for strength. Scroll. And of his signs is a creation of the heavens and earth, and the diversity of your languages and colors. Quran 30:22. Pharaohs rejected this wisdom and paid the price. A fragile heir in Amarna's glittering palace. Whisper spread. Face without mouth midwives exchanged worried glances as Tut was born. His cry, weak. His body, struggling. But courtiers bowed anyway. He's royal. Divine blood. Sparkles. The tragic truth. This baby wasn't chosen by gods. He was crippled by generations of family marriages. Yet nobody dared say, this isn't right. They crowned weakness and called it destiny. While Egyptians denied reality, Persian Muslim Dr. Al-Razi, 854 CE, wrote the first book on hereditary diseases, centuries before genetics. Islam values truth-seeking, not blind tradition. The Boy King's Burden. 1341 BCE. Tut took his first breath in a palace of illusions. Faced with open mouth dashing away his mother, Akhenaten's sister, survived a traumatic birth. Midwives saw immediately. Weak whimpers instead of strong cries. A tiny body fighting to survive. Feet already struggling to stand. But priests chanted. Nobles applauded. Why? Royal blood. They worshipped a broken system, while the child suffered. Their divine heir was actually proof of their arrogance. Kaaba, we have certainly created man in the best of stature. Quran 95:4. Tut's body wasn't cursed. It was consequences. Islam teaches, respect Allah's design or face collapse. Illusion of divinity. Court doctors chanted prayers, claiming Tut would grow stronger with Aten's blessing. Folded hands, but no miracle came. Why? Because you can't cheat biology. Tut was the tragic endpoint of a dynasty that thought royal blood beat nature's laws. DNA, reality check, struggled to walk, needed 130-plus canes. Chronic pain from childhood. Height, just 5 feet 6 inches. Far from warrior pharaohs. Yet they draped him in gold, calling him divine. Pure denial. Warning Allah's design doesn't bend for kings. Do they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them? They were superior in strength. Quran 30:9. Pride is not equal to power. The court's deception. The empire through parades of their perfect boy king. Party popper but behind palace walls? Tut battled constant fevers, bone pain, and learning struggles. Tutors whispered about his blank stares during lessons. Sunlight overwhelmed him. Science reveals why. Multiple malaria strains in his DNA, genetic disorders from generations of inbreeding. But the court called it mystery, refusing to admit their divine blood failed. Broken heart. Meanwhile in Baghdad, Muslim physician Al-Razi, 854 CE, wrote that truth-seeking is a religious duty, rejecting the lies pharaohs told themselves. The puppet Pharaoh. At age 9, frail Tut was crowned pharaoh, renamed living image of Ammonius, to fix his father's heresy. Crown but watch closely. His eyes glaze over during ceremonies. Regents Ai and General Hormheb ruled through him. They propped him up like a golden puppet. The heartbreaking truth. A sick child used as a political tool while the dynasty crumbled. His tomb's 130 walking sticks scream what history hid. Ibn Khaldun's wisdom. Books Muslim historian Ibn Khaldun later wrote, dynasties collapse when elites value pride over people. Sound familiar? The crumbling facade. Public appearances? Tut was carried on a golden throne, head drooping. Chair the crowd cheered. Pharaoh lives. Egypt endures. Sparkles, but both were rotting inside. Behind palace walls. Linen soaked with fever sweat. Painters faking strong king portraits. Ministers forcing a smile over panic. They needed Tut to marry his half-sister and birth heirs, but his body was screaming and no more. Warning, this wasn't royalty, it was collective delusion. They deceive all in the believers, but they deceive not except themselves. Quran 2:9. Pharaoh's lies only hurt them. Broken heart. The puppet king. At age 12, Tut ruled Egypt. In reality, regents moved his lips during speeches. Painful walks hidden behind linen curtains. Malaria fever spiking as generals plotted. His tomb's 130 walking sticks tell the truth history tried to erase. No crown can override Allah's natural laws. Ibn Khaldun's verdict. Scroll. When luxury corrupts elites, dynasties fracture. Muslim historian Ibn Khaldun, 1332 CE. Sound familiar? The 18th dynasty chose glitter over strength. The final collapse. 1324 BC, the end. After years of pain, 19-year-old Tut fell, likely from malaria plus a broken leg. His death was mysterious. Science confirms. Multiple malaria strains from inbred DNA. Bone decay, Kohler's disease. Immune system collapsed like a sandcastle water wave. Real curse? Arrogance. They thought royal blood beat biology. Allah's design doesn't work that way. As Muslims, we visit graves to learn, not worship. Tut's tomb isn't a curse, but a 3,400-year-old lesson. Pride destroys empires. Quran 28:76-82. Diversity is Allah's design. Quran 49:13. Truth-seeking is worship. Hadith. Seek knowledge. Tut's gold mask. A mirror to our own choices. Build on lies or Allah's eternal wisdom. The illusion of strength. Official portraits showed Tut as a lion-hunting warrior lion face, but his tomb's 130-plus worn walking sticks scream truth. This king struggled to stand. Behind the gold, Vizier Ayan, General Hormheb ruling through him. Divine contemplation equals exhaustion-induced stares. Communing with R.A. equals malaria-induced fevers. The court spun lies to hide their crumbling god-king, but no propaganda can override biology. And do not mix truth with falsehood. Quran 2:42. Pharaohs built empires on deception and watched them fall. The doomed marriage. At age 12, Tut married his half-sister Enkhesenemen Crown, a political move to save the dynasty. But science confirms. Tut's body was ravaged by malaria plus genetic disorders. Their 2 baby girls were tragically stillborn. Court magicians chanted fertility spells herb, but no ritual could fix what centuries of inbreeding broke. Meanwhile, in Cordoba, Muslim surgeon al-Zahrawi, 936 CE, wrote the first OB/GYN manual, advancing real maternal health, while Egyptians prayed to idols. The final charade. Tut, lost in fever dreams, clutched scarab amulets, while his court spun wilder lies. Tremors became divine messages. Exhaustion was holy trance. Court artists painted him as a warrior he could never be. Even foreign envoys saw through it. One Hittite scribe wrote, "Which terrifies more? The sick king or their lies about him?" Flushed face, but the show went on. Why? No backup air. The dynasty bet everything on a fading boy. Quranic warning. They deceive none but themselves, yet perceive it not. Quran 2:9. Despair and disappearance. After Tut's death, Queen Enkhesenemen secretly begged the Hittites for a prince to save Egypt. Envelope, the prince vanished, murdered. She disappeared from history. Coffin. Meanwhile, Tut's reign became tragic theater. Banquets where he stared blankly. Musicians playing for a ghost king. One priest dared whisper, "We're ruled by a relic," vanished by dawn. The truth? No ritual could save a dynasty that broke Allah's natural laws. In Makkah, Prophet Ibrahim A.S. rejected entire empires built on lies. Teaching truth requires courage pharaohs lacked. The end. 1323 BC. Age 19. Tut's body surrendered after years of relentless malaria mosquito, proven by 2025 DNA, crumbling bones, a broken immune system. His final moments? Propped up in linen and gold, while courtiers chanted, "Son of R.A." A living metaphor for their crumbling empire. The final hours. 1323 BC. Tut's body finally surrendered, not from assassins or chariots, but a perfect storm of suffering. Gangrene from a broken leg. Relentless malaria attacks. Immune system collapse. No heroic last words. Just a sick boy gasping under linen sheets, surrounded by amulets that couldn't save him. The court's grand illusion died with his last breath. Dashing away, every soul will taste death. Quran 3:185. Pharaohs build eternal myths, but Allah's decree is absolute. Burial and legacy. KV 62 tomb was rushed, walls half-painted, crammed with 5,000 treasures to mask the shame. Performing arts the curse? Pure 1922 media hype. Lord Carnarvon died from a mosquito bite mosquito, not supernatural revenge. Modern science revealed the real tragedy. DNA showing generations of inbreeding. CT scans of withered bones. A dynasty collapsing under its own arrogance. The true curse was human folly, not magic. While Westerners sensationalized curses, Egyptian scholar Ahmad Kamal, 1900 CE, pioneered scientific archaeology, honoring our heritage through knowledge, not myths. Aftermath and empire's fall. With Tut gone, wife Enkhesenemen vanished after political schemes. Vizier I ruled briefly before General Hormheb seized power. Amarna was erased from history. Consequences? Nubia rebelled. Alliances crumbled. Famine spread. The 18th dynasty didn't just end. It became Allah's warning. How many generations we destroyed after Noah? Quran 17:17. Star and Crescent powerful outro for Muslim youth. 3 truth bombs from Tut story. Arrogance collapses empires. Do not strut arrogantly on the earth. Quran 17:37. Pharaohs thought bloodlines Allah's laws. Their gold became dust. Science superstition. While Egyptians blamed curses, scholars like Ibn Sina studied malaria 1,400 years ago. Star and Crescent brain. True legacy is righteousness. The most noble of you are the most righteous. Quran 49:13. Not golden masks, but how you serve Allah and people. Tut's tomb isn't haunted. It's a mirror. Will we repeat Pharaoh's mistakes? Or build on truth like Muslim scientists? The eternal lesson. In 1323 BCE, Tut's final breath faded in a palace thick with incense and denial. Pensive face not with epic battles or divine proclamations. Just a sick 19-year-old boy, surrounded by amulets that couldn't cheat death. His passing wasn't tragedy, it was divine justice. The 18th dynasty's sacred bloodline had consumed itself. Skull and crossbones. Fast forward 3,244 years. Howard Carter's lantern illuminates KV-62, 1922. The world gasps at Tut's golden mask of forming arts. But modern science reveals the truth beneath. 2010/2025 DNA. Generations of inbreeding. CT scans. A body broken by malaria plus gangrene. Stillborn daughters. Genetics over gods. No Hollywood curse. Just Allah's natural laws playing out. The real warning. Muslim historian Ibn Khaldun wrote in Al-Muqaddimah, dynasties collapse when elites value blood over merit, luxury over justice. Fire. Pharaohs forgot. Leadership is a mana, a trust. Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due. Quran 4:58. True nobility is taqwa. The most noble of you is the most righteous. Quran 49:13. Knowledge superstition. While Egyptians blame curses, scholars like Al-Razi study disease causes.